Shri Tripura Rahasyam MahatmyaKhandam, Chapter 49. After hearing the legend of Mohini, Parashurama, eager to listen further about the glories of the Devi, inquired the son of sage Atri, the lord of the ascetic clan. O Lord, now tell me in detail the wonderful glory of Devi Tripurasundari, who incarnated as Devi Lalita. Through what prayers of the gods did she incarnate? What is her form? How did she fight with Bhandasura? How strong was that demon? Whose son was he? How did he conquer the gods? Tell me all this. Your close disciple, compassionate gurus will not feel troubled by the questions of their disciple. Just like a bee, I am never satisfied drinking the essence of the stories of Devi Tripurasundari from the blossomed, fragrant lotus of your face. Thus inquired by Parashurama, Dattatreya, the lord of the sages, observing his inquisitiveness about hearing, addressed him with pleasure thus, O Parashurama, listen. I will narrate the story of Devi Lalita, who is the incarnation of Devi Tripurasundari. The great Devi Tripurasundari is the cause of all causes, the supporter of everything, and is full of intelligence, effulgence, and bliss. Shiva, the embodiment of knowledge and bliss, is the protector of the universe. His component of intelligence is known as Chit Shakti, the Parashakti. The dynamic aspect of the blissful intelligence of Parameshwara is termed as Vimarsha, the profound analytical counterpart. The entire universe shines in her vast spatial cosmos, shining with three forms. She is well known as Tripura. Just like water in the ocean, rays of the sun, clay in the earth, she is the power in Shiva. Just like there is no ocean without water, no sun without rays, there is no Shiva without her power. The glorious form of Lalita is replete with the principle of intelligence. Her other manifestations, like Kumari, are identified with her head, arms, feet, and so on. Devi Lalita is supreme. In the past, sage Agastya, while visiting sacred places, was filled with compassion towards suffering beings. Through a big penance at Kanchipura, he pleased Mahavishnu, who blessed him. Asked regarding the welfare of the world, Vishnu told the sage about various glories of the visible Devi Tripurasundari, such as the killing of Bhandasura by Devi Lalita. O Parashurama, listen, I will narrate that long account to you. After narrating concisely, Mahavishnu departed after deputing sage Hayagriva, who was his own incarnation, to elaborate the same to Agastya, who was interested in details. Then Agastya, in his hermitage, worshipped sage Hayagriva and inquired thus about the extremely wonderful glory of Devi Lalita. O wise Hayagriva, how did the transcendental Tripura incarnate and destroy in war the demon Bhanda? I long to listen to this legend. Please narrate it to me. Thus inquired the sage Hayagriva, the foremost among the devotees of Devi Lalita, was filled with joy by remembering her glories, and with tears of joy and horripilation started narrating with a voice choked with joy. O Agastya, You are fortunate. Your desire to listen to the legend of Devi Lalita is a result of your abundant merit earned through hundreds of births, which has fructified today. A person who desires to drink the nectar of the glories of Devi Lalita should be considered as the best, who has been released from the fear of death. Listening to the stories of Devi Lalita is the essence of human existence. By generating devotion, it grants her abode. All actions by human beings tantamount to oblations in ashes till they hear the legend of Devi Lalita. All beings who worship Goddess Tripura should listen to this always, because without hearing this they will not obtain the results of worship. Hence, all her devotees should endeavor to listen to her glories. By hearing or reading this on sacred days, Devi Tripurasundari will be pleased. In days of yore, there was a very powerful demon named Bhanda who obtained rare boons by propitiating Lord Shiva. Then, without fear, that demon conquered the three worlds and ruled as if he was Vishnu, the Lord of the universe. He vanquished Indra and other gods in the war. Having lost their wealth, the gods wandered helplessly on the earth like human beings. The demons, ruled by Bhanda, extremely enjoyed the oblations to the gods, their damsels, their garden Nandana, and their Kalpavriksha. Seeing Indrani, who was beautiful like Lakshmi, as the demon Bhanda was planning to peacefully abduct her, Saci, along with her father Puloma, unnoticed by the demons, took shelter under Devi Gauri and stayed in Mount Kailasa. In this manner, Bhanda, after conquering Indra, Kuvera, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, Yama, and Soma, became the ruler. Staying himself in the heaven, he placed Vishukra in the earth and Vishanga in the nether region and ruled the three worlds. Binding Indra and other lords of the directions, he made them carry heavy loads like servants. After some time, Guru Sukracarya released the gods. Bhanda was thus troubling the gods. Once, upon the advice of the demons, Bhanda invited Maya, the sculptor, and ordered him to rebuild the city Sonitapura, which was ruined in the past by the gods. Then Maya, who was instructed, rebuilt the Sonita city. Seeing that beautiful city, which excelled the heaven, Bhandasura destroyed the heaven and transferred its assembly hall, Sudharma, and garden, Nandana, to the Sonitapura and converted it into another heaven abundant with prosperity. Staying in that city, Bhanda, the powerful lord of the demons, created demonic leaders who were equal to the divine lords of the directions in luster and valor, and appointed them as lords of the directions. Everything was indeed filled by Bhanda and his followers. Then the exceedingly brilliant Bhanda ruled the universe. He renamed Sonitapura as Sunyakapura. Thus Bhandasura, who had great power of penance, captured many universes by splitting them. He brought under his control 105 universes and became their overlord. In all these universes, his orders were carried out unhindered. Thus Bhanda ruled all the universes by conquering the gods. End of the 49th chapter of the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. Chapter 50. O Parashurama, hearing Hayagriva, the wonder-struck Agastya again inquired thus: O Hayagriva, O ocean of mercy, your narration was wonderful. To whom was Bhandasura of such a might born? Was his valor inborn or due to penance? How did he conquer the gods? How did he vanquish Brahma and others? Please tell me verbatim all this, who is anxious to hear. Thus inquired by Agastya, The pleased Hayagriva said thus, O Agastya, listen to the ancient legend of Bhandasura. After Manmatha was reduced to ashes by the anger of Shiva, childlike Ganesha heaped the ashes and made a beautiful human doll out of it. He showed that lovely doll to Gauri, his loving mother. Seeing that, Gauri, in order to please Ganesha, requested Shiva thus, O auspicious Lord, please impart life to this idol which is dear to Ganesha. Let my dear son play with him. Requested by Parvati, Shiva, in view of the future events, gave life to the idol by casting a shower of nectarian glances. That enlivened boy was extremely beautiful because of his connection with Manmatha, but was demonic by nature because of his association with the anger of Shiva. He was a good friend of Ganesha and played with him. Then, once the lords of the directions reached there, seeing them, the demon questioned Ganesha thus, Who are these? How did they become that prosperous and wealthy? Thus inquired, Ganesha said thus to his dear friend, O my dear friend, I will tell you. Listen. They are the lords of the directions who were revered by the world. They have acquired the lordship over the directions by propitiating through penance the great god Shiva. If Shiva is pleased by the penance, there is nothing that is not achievable, just like one can get everything through the Kalpavriksha. Hearing Ganesha, that boy decided to perform penance. Permitted by Ganesha, he went to the banks of the divine river Ganga and did a long drawn self control penance, sustaining himself on fruits for 10,000 years, propitiating Lord Mahadeva. Then the pleased propitious Mahadeva appeared before him and said, Thus, my child, tell me about your intention. Pleased with you, I have come here to grant your wants. Hearing Mahadeva, the demon bowed and, with folded hands, requested the Lord thus, O Lord, I should become the ruler of the universe. I should vanquish everyone. I should be able to create gods, demons, and excellent worlds. I should be able to create weapons, missiles, scriptures, and magic. All the gods, including Brahma, should be always obedient to me. I shall not fear anything, and I should not die. Hearing his words, Shiva said thus, You are not fit to have such boons. Then Shiva disappeared. The disappointed demon performed again a severe penance for 1,00,000 years, staying in the sky, sustaining on smoke and braving cold and heat. Then once again Mahadeva presented himself and said thus, O intelligent demon, stop your frightening penance. I will grant that you become the ruler of the three worlds, that you will conquer gods and demons, that you can create gods, human beings, and demons, that you can create weapons and scriptures, that you will have nothing to fear from the gods, human beings, and demons, that Brahma and others will not be controlled by you, and that you cannot escape death. Saying thus, Shiva disappeared. After Shiva disappeared, the demon thought again thus, Of what avail are these desired boons without my becoming immortal? I will again perform penance till Lord Shiva grants me this boon. Thinking thus, he started a severe penance, dangling from a tree, with his feet up and head down just above a burning fire, controlling his breath and desires. O sage, as he who had totally controlled his senses was being burnt by the fire, did penance for 20,000 years, smoke came out of the pores of his hair. The three worlds were filled with the spreading smoke. The throne of Indra trembled. The gods became unconscious. Fear and sorrow struck the gods. The earth trembled. The seas transgressed their shores. The directions were set ablaze. The rivers were polluted. Then Indra and other gods prayed to Brahma. Brahma, after thinking about the matter, went to Shiva along with Hari, and after deliberating for a long time, said to Shiva thus, O Mahadeva, you should grant all the boons that the demon wants except immortality. You should grant all the boons that the demon wants except immortality. Otherwise, the worlds will be reduced to ashes by the fire of his penance. Recommended thus by Brahma and others, Shiva went near the demon and saw him, the concentrated penance, with an emaciated body, with visible veins and burning like fire, and said thus, O demon, I am pleased with your penance. Tell me your want. You will have it fulfilled. Addressed thus by Shiva, and seeing the god in front, the demon prostrated before him and praised him, and with folded hands spoke thus, O Maheshwara, earlier you granted me everything except immortality. In addition, I would like to conquer Brahma and others in war. I should have the strength to split the universe. Hearing the request of the demon, Maheshwara said to him thus, O demon, listen. You shall not be killed by gods, demons, human beings, those born from the womb or mind. You shall not be killed by trees, mountains, wild animals, serpents, birds, worms, insects, bees, yakshas, vidyadharas, kinnaras, devils, kimpurushas, rakshasas, the trinity, weapons, and popular missiles in any manner. Your other wants also will be fulfilled. Giving boons thus to the demon, Shiva disappeared. Then the demon reflected thus, if I cannot be killed by gods and others, then where is death for me? I have really become immortal. Assuming himself to have accomplished everything, he went to Kailasa mountain. Joining his friend Ganesha, he narrated everything to him. Then, along with Ganesha, the demon bowed to Devi Parvati and told her about the boons he had obtained. Parvati also congratulated him and said thus to the demon, O my child, you have obtained great boons. You should not offend the gods, otherwise you will face fear. Plotting against gods, Brahmins, and citizens, the demons have been destroyed. Keep away from the company of demons because you will lose your wisdom by associating with them. Go to the nether region, which is better than heaven, and righteously rule there. Agreeing with her and bowing to her, the demon went to Patala, nether region, and ruled there along with the demons. Then, by the repeated advice of the demon leaders, he, supported by his army, started conquering the three worlds and waged an astonishing war against the Kurus in the north. Seeing his excitement in war, Brahma amicably addressed him thus, O Lord of demons, right now it is improper to fight. All the gods will pay you taxes. You can entirely rule the nether region and the earth. Let the gods live in the heaven. Let there be no enmity with gods. Listening to Brahma and discussing with other demons, he asked for Indrani, Nandana garden, Rambha, and others as taxes. Hearing the improper words of the demon, the angry Brahma said thus to the demon, O Bhanda, you are wicked. Saying this, Brahma disappeared. Then the most arrogant Bhanda and other demons fought an extremely fierce battle with the gods, and after vanquishing them, captured Indra and others and engaged them in the task of carrying heavy loads. Conquering thus the three worlds, the highly haughty Bhandasura created from the either sides of his ribs two demons, Vishanga and Vishukra. Along with his hundreds of sons and grandsons, he enjoyed stupendous wealth. He brought under his sway 105 universes. A demon by name Taraka, seeing the preponderant valor of Bhanda, made friendship with him, who in turn was pleased with Taraka and made him the lord of 18 universes. Tarakasura gave in wedding to Bhandasura his four sisters by name Sammohini, Sundari, Chitrangi, and Kumudotkara, who were charming and beautiful like Devi Lakshmi. Ugrakarma, Ugradhanva, Vidyunmali, Bibhishana, Indrashatru, Amitragna, Vijaya, and Vishwatapana were the wise and dear ministers of Bhandasura. The pleased Bhandasura made them the lords of the directions. Having got such prosperity, Bhandasura in the course of time became arrogant. On his own, he created, protected, and destroyed the worlds. After discussing with his wicked ministers, he reached Satyaloka haftily to conquer Brahma. As he was reaching that place, Brahma vanished along with his abode. The same thing happened with Vaikuntha also. Then he reached Kailasa. Hearing about the arrival of his old friend Ganesha, along with the Pramathaganas, lovingly met him midway. But on seeing the proud Bhanda, who had rejected friendship and was accompanied by demons, Ganesha stopped him. Ordered by Bhandasura, the demon Vibhishana said thus, O Ganesha, go quickly and tell your father Shiva thus, the lord of the demons has arrived. Quickly surrender to him. If not, boldly fight with him and face the consequences. If you are strong, do not run away from the battle. Also tell your mother thus, the lord of the demons wants Saci, who is under your protection. Offer her soon to him. If not, both of you will be dragged to me by your hair by the demons and you will lose your dignity. O ignorant Ganesha, go and convey this and do not get killed here. Hearing the words of the demon, the enraged Ganesha immediately hit him on the head with the palm and defeated him. The Pramathas destroyed the demons who were present there. Then an intense war started between the Pramathas and the demons, wherein the mighty Pramathas devastated the demons. Meanwhile, Parvati, hearing about the war between the demons and the Pramathas, arrived there out of love to save her son Ganesha. She was accompanied by crores of Shaktis. Seeing the fierce battle between the Pramathas and the demons, and realizing the dwindling strength of the Pramathas, Parvati, along with her Shaktis, fought the demons for a while in a most frightening way. Firmly hit by the strong Shaktis and the Pramathas, the demons, unable to withstand the attack, started running away with their limbs cut off, heads broken, and pulverized bodies, even as they were being killed and swallowed by the Pramathas and the Shaktis. Seeing his forces thus destroyed, the angry and fierce Bhandasura came on a chariot to fight. Chiding Bhanda, Ganesha, holding the mace, quickly stopped him like the Vindhya mountain stopping the Ganga on the earth. Then a battle began between them, employing fierce thunderbolt like missiles, which looked as if Lord Vishnu was fighting with the demon Kaitava. Both of them worthy of praise, and both intoxicated fought with rage like inebriated elephants in a forest. Then the angry Ganesha flung his raised mace on Bhandasura just like Indra his thunderbolt on the mountain. By that the chariot, horses, the flag, and the charioteer of Bhanda were reduced to ashes. Then quickly Ganesha, with the same mace, which was like a thunderbolt, hit Bhandasura severely, and Bhanda, who was like a speeding bull, fell down unconscious on the earth like an uprooted tree. All the demons wailed, while the Pramathas and the Shaktis, who were happy, honored Ganesha with slogans of applause. The mighty Bhandasura, who quickly regained consciousness, rose up fast and with great force hit Ganesha on his head with the goad. Hit severely by the sharp goad, Ganesha dropped on the ground like a mountain struck by the thunderbolt. The Pramathas and the Shaktis wailed very much. Then the angry Parvati, uttering a sound hum, stupefied Bhanda, who was trying to catch hold of Ganesha. As she was about to kill Bhanda with the trident after binding him with the noose, Brahma appeared there and requested Parvati thus, O Devi, according to the boon by Shiva, this Bhandasura should not be killed by you. Hence, retire from fighting and let the demon go back to the earth. Reminded thus about the great boon of the demon, Parvati cursed him thus, You worthless demon, get back to the earth. You are set free now and you do not deserve to visit this Meru peak Kailasa at any time. If you enter here, your head will surely break into 100 pieces. Then Parvati, helped by the Shaktis and the Pramathas, pushed Bhanda and other demons to the earth just like the palmyra fruits by the wind. That was how Bhanda, who was defeated by Parvati, returned depressed, dejected, and sad to his Sunyaka city along with the demons. O Agastya, I have thus narrated to you about the valor of Bhandasura filled with penance. Because of the curse on him from Parvati, Brahma and others were not defeated. That was how Bhandasura became the lord of the demons by conquering the worlds and was troubling the heaven just like a wolf in a city. End of the 50th chapter of the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. Chapter 51. O Agastya, listen. The sad gods who were thus driven away by Bhandasura hid themselves for a long time in forests, mountains, caves, and river banks, fearing the demons. Some of them who were seen by the demons were dragged and beaten and engaged like servants. Like this 20 lakh years lapsed. Then once Indra came across somewhere Brhaspati the Guru, bowing to him with folded hands, Indra said thus, O Guru, look at me, the Lord of gods, who am sad and surrendered to you. I am seeing you after a long time. Please have mercy on this disciple. O Lord, I cannot any more bear such hardship. Even after my repeated prayers, Brahma said thus, O Indra, listen. This is not the time to retaliate. Wait for the time. Without a proper time, nothing can be achieved. After this innumerable yugas have passed without a sign of happiness, look at me, who am sullied, helpless, emaciated, and totally frightened. This thorny arbor has become my heaven, and Nandana garden and my assembly. Sudharma, the mosquitoes are the singing Gandharvas, the crows are the panegyrists, the birds are the birds, the fireflies are the group like Rambha, the stone slab is my bed, the base of the bush is my pillow, the cry of the foxes is the sacred chant, cranes and vultures are the members of the assembly, the dust from the earth is my garment, the thorny branches of the trees shaken by the wind are my fans. Such is my fortune indeed. Saying thus, Indra became unconscious. Seeing the plight of Indra, who had gone unconscious, Brhaspati was soon filled with compassion. Then, consoling Indra, he said thus, O best among gods, listen, the wise are never sorrowful. They will be happy in distress and balanced in prosperity. Broad-minded great people will never be perturbed. Instead, they will overcome grief through discrimination and wait with courage for good days. Listen, I will tell you the method of obtaining your results. This demon is fearless by propitiating Lord Shiva, who has declared that he cannot be killed by persons born out of the womb or even mind. Other than these two kinds, there is no one anywhere in this universe. Also, he is declared deathless either by gods or men, hence surrendered to Devi Tripurasundari. Other than her, there is no one who can protect you. Saying thus, Brhaspati remembered Vayu, who immediately appeared and bowed to the Guru. Then Brhaspati addressed him thus: O Vayu, listen. You are always moving, and you are the life of all and powerful. You carry quickly along the sky path Indra and all the gods, including Agni, to the Himalayan peak and bring them back after their work unnoticed by the demons. There they will be there they will by their effort obtain their wants. Agreeing to this, Vayu carried in a minute all the gods. Indra and other gods congregated on the Himalayan peak. They sent Vayu to bring the Trinity gods. Then they decided their course of action to vanquish Bhandasura and thought that there was no one other than Devi Tripurasundari who can help them. Thus, Brahma and other gods, controlling their senses and breath, meditated on Devi Tripurasundari, the supporter of the universe. They spent 100 years meditating on her. Then the gods, after deliberation, propitiated Devi Tripurasundari through a great yajna with tantric rites. In that yajna, Brahma himself took the place of Brahma, and Brhaspati was the chief priest. Vishnu, Shiva, and others were other priests in that Mahayaga, which was replete with Vedic chants and sacrificial material. On the concluding day, Brhaspati, meditating on the transcendental Devi, offered the consummating offering into the fire, representing consciousness that was ablaze in the great altar. Then, as the gods were praising, Devi Tripurasundari manifested out of the core of that burning sacrificial fire of consciousness. With the consummatory offering, the fire in the altar brightened and its flame spread up to a distance of 1 yojana, creating a sound as if a mountain was shattering and as if 100 thunderbolts had struck simultaneously, damaging the ears of the celestials. Then from the core of the flame emerged a great effulgence equal to a myriad lightnings striking simultaneously that blinded the gods. Blinded and deafened by that brilliance and the sound, all the gods, excepting Brhaspati, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, fell unconscious on the ground. Then, from within that brilliance manifested Devi Tripurasundari. Devi Tripurasundari manifested with a bodily hue like a bunched redness of the rising sun. Her creeper-like body was shining like a streak of lightning. Her face looked like full moon, and the blossomed lotus in her creeper-like shining body. She was shining with the red vermilion radiating out of her dark, dense hair. The diamonds decorating her hair resembled the bunch of stars in the sky. The parting line in her tresses was like the tongue of her long snake-like plait. Her ear was covered by the redness of the vermilion. Her forehead, which is like an inverted half moon, was shining with the mask mark. Her blossomed lotus face was crowded with curly locks of hair resembling a swarm of bees. Her pair of eyes were like the blue lilies in the pond of her facial beauty. Her glances were like the mystic chants giving birth to a myriad cupids. Her side glances were beautiful, producing myriad waves of milky ocean. Her lovely nose was like the guardian of a bird of champaka flower. Her cheeks were shining like mirrors made out of rubies. Her gem-set ear studs were like lotuses protruding in the river of her side glances. The pearls in her lotus-like ear studs resembled the swans. Her side glances were like the arrows shot out from the bow like effulgence of her ear ornaments. Her lips resembling the ripe pomegranate seed were imparting redness to her teeth. Her bodily hue was like filaments of a blossomed red lily. Her jasmine bird like teeth were sprouting behind the clean coral lips. Her lips were like the coral creeper in the milky ocean of her smile. Her bright chin was like a handle to hold her ruby like lotus face. Her lotus like neck was beautiful with a gem necklace. Her two lotus calyx like breasts had blossomed out of the stalk of her gem like hands. She was beautiful with the flower bunch like breasts on her ruby creeper like body. Her breasts were like the geese hiding out of fear of her facial moonlight. Her breasts were like swans playing in the floods of the river of her smile. Her red palms were like the tender sprouts from the branches of her creeper like body. Her fingers were like the hibiscus buds at the tip of her tender palms. Her forearms were shining with the gold, the noose, the bow, and the arrows. Her arms were beautiful with bangles, amulets, diamond rings, and blouse. Her creeper like pearl necklace was like the stalk of her lotus like face. Her two breasts were like the lotus buds borne by the thin creeper like hair streak. Her navel was like the basin for the creeper like hair. The hair creeper from her navel was like moss from the navel pond. Her hips were covered with the her hips were covered with red silk garment. The existence of her waist was guessed by the supported upper body. Her star-like girdle ornament was visible within her garment covering the subtle space-like waist. Her thigh region was defeating the stem of a ruby plantain tree. Her beautiful shanks were like ruby quivers. Her foreleg was depicting the grandeur of the tortoise shell. The small bells in her gem-set anklet was melodiously jingling. Her lotus feet was granting grace to the blossomed lotus. Her lotus feet were decorated with gem-studded anklets. The ambrosial flow from her moon-like nails were stilling the scorch of the supplicants. Her pair of feet were like the family preceptor to the slow, graceful gait of the swan. Her feet were like the sprouts of the mandara kalpavriksha, which bestows the wands of the devotees. Seeing her who had manifested thus, Brahma and others prostrated before her and said, O Devi, be victorious. There, Brhaspati, after bowing many times to the transcendental Devi, rose up, and seeing her, he was immersed in an ocean of joy. Keeping his lotus like palms folded on his head, he was drenched in the flood of tears flowing out of his lotus eyes. Overpowered by extreme devotion, he praised Devi Tripurasundari in a choked voice, pleasing her with his poetic skill. O Devi, I do not have the ability to describe your glorious deeds. Whatever has been said by me is your own. Hence, there is no danger to my position as the Lord of Speech. If I fail to praise you, it would be because of the absence of your grace. Whatever I speak as the Guru of the gods is yourself. You are the entire world, consisting of differences like you and me. Just like there is no difference between the sweet waves of Milky Ocean and other bitter waves, there is no loss or gain for me praising you. The ignorant person takes the differences in the world as true, just like the image in a mirror that appears as existing. We consider the manifestation which you are compassionately showing us is, as ever, illusory. The ignorant person who is deluded by your glorious deeds thinks that the heaven of the gods is superior. To describe your infinite power, he propounds useless logic based on the visible duality. People waste their time debating with verbosity about the existence and non-existence of this creation. O Universal Mother, I consider those as really fortunate or blessed who ponder in their heart just for a moment about your aspect of consciousness. O Mother, those yogis who are devoid of sensory cravings, who see in the pure and calm mirror of their inner being your aspect as their own self, are really blessed and victorious, having attained the highest bliss. Thus, those who for a long period ponder over your form will acquire a steady perception and reach a natural state, and later find your form and glory in all external existence, are really the yogis deserving adoration. O Devi Lalita, even with a little acquaintance with your lotus feet, I have understood by describing and meditating on you a very negligible aspect of your glory, but I have never understood your totality. Hence, I am bowing at your feet. After praying to Devi, thus Brhaspati fell prostrate before her. Then Brahma and other gods also praised the Devi. O Mother, you are the equanimous intelligence creating, protecting, and destroying the universe. You are the intelligence which pervades and illumines the entire universe. You exist only as the excellent intelligence. Your skill and power in making the impossible occur within a being, as if in a mirror, even after controlling external activities, is amazingly surpassing. O Supreme Devi, though your form is vast, by your great power you have limited it, and by creating differences like seeing and the seen, you are illuminating everybody. By witnessing your many limited forms and contemplating on their aspects of ignorance, you shine again in your absolute natural form. By virtue of freedom, you are imagining your vast sport within the mirror of yourself and seeing that you are always rejoicing. O Devi, salutations to you. O Maheshwari, that Lord of the world, Shiva, is not different from you and understands all this as your sport, sees it in the same way as you do, and rejoices. Your supreme visible manifestation is to bless the indigent who are unable to comprehend the glory of your subtle form. We prostrate repeatedly to your beautiful form, which is red like the saffron, which is bent forward by the weight of the huge breasts, which is decorated with the digit of the moon, which is wielding the goad, the arrow, the bow, and the noose. Praising her thus, Brahma and other gods prostrated at her feet. Then the Supreme Devi addressed them thus: O children, rise quickly. I have manifested like this, ready to kill your foe. O gods, ask for your wants. O Brhaspati, you also speak out your desire. I will grant it to you. Hearing the words of the Devi, Brahma and other gods spoke thus. End of the 51st chapter of the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. Chapter 52. O sage Agastya, listen to what was spoken by Brahma and others. Brahma and others, with reverence to Devi, said thus: You are again ready to protect the world from danger. You should destroy the demons who are our enemies. But please listen. How this demon Bhanda, who has by the blessings of Shiva become deathless, will be killed by you. How will our work be done? How will the demon be destroyed? Hearing Brahma and others, Devi Shankari spoke thus: O Brahma, do not have any doubt about the killing of the demon. I am not born from the womb or even the mind of anyone. I am a supernatural woman born out of the fire. I will kill the mighty demon employing a rare unknown missile. Hearing the words of Devi Lalita, the Trinity gods were free from worry. Then Brhaspati, with folded hands, said thus: O Devi, let Indra and others have a vision of your supreme universal motherly form by which they would be sanctified. Hearing Brhaspati, Devi Tripurasundari said thus: O Brhaspati, listen. Indra and others are incompetent to see my all powerful form, which has not been seen by others. Ordinary beings can never see this form of mine, because you, that is, Trinity of gods, are my devotees who are constantly meditating on this form, are shown this form which has not been seen by others. Let Indra see my different limited form. Then Brihaspati requested the Devi many times to show her form to Indra. The Devi told Guru thus: If Indra has to see this form of mine, let him worship me through the Sri Shukta method, and later I will surely show him my form. Saying thus, the Devi, by her ambrosial glances, awakened the unconscious gods and disappeared, witnessed by Brahma and others. Then the gods who got unconscious heard from Brihaspati about the manifestation of Devi Tripurasundari. Then Indra, along with other gods initiated by the Guru, propitiated Devi Tripurasundari through the Lakshmi Sukta. 11 months passed in such worship. In between, Sukracarya, the preceptor of the demons, having known the activities of the gods, completely informed Bhandasura and said thus: O Lord of the demons, listen. Your enemy Indra is propitiating Devi Parashakti in the Himalayan mountain with devotion. Pleased with his worship, she will quickly ruin you along with your children and relatives, just like a fire that will burn a heap of grass and wood. Hence, try to save yourself before getting destroyed. There is no other way out other than conciliation when the enemy is protected by a strong one. So, to escape peril, hand over the heaven and the earth along with the riches and the retinue to Indra, and rule only the nether region and surrender to the universal Devi. Saying thus and accepting worship from him, Sukracharya went away to his desired place. Then the demon Bhandasura in his Sunyaka city secretly discussed with his expert ministers. Ordered by the king, the ministers expressed their individual views. One of them suggested conciliation, another one preferred sowing dissensions, the third one recommended the path of bribery, some others were for attack. Thus there was great confusion in the assembly. The famous Shrutavarma, the son of Vishukra, who was considered as equal to Shukracharya, bowed to Bhandasura and said thus: O king, listen, I will talk based on political science. External appearance is naturally unsteady and defective. Hence, the reality of everything has to be known through intelligence. One who acts thoughtlessly perishes like a moth in the fire. Prosperity follows him who acts thoughtfully. A minister who is uselessly adamant, who lacks clarity, who is hasty, who always agrees with the king, and who is selfish will surely ruin the kingdom, and the king, just like a leaky boat, drowns the passengers and the navigator. Therefore, a king who cares for his kingdom must abandon bad ministers. Please listen, I will tell you about the future action. O king, you obtained boon by pleasing Shiva through penance, which is in vain, because you have never thought of fear from women, thinking them to be insignificant, and today we cannot take it for granted. In the past, the mighty Mahishasura, who conquered the three worlds, was killed by a woman. We have heard that in the past the demons Shumbha and Nishumbha, who were extremely powerful and who had a huge army, were killed in the war by Chandika. Other than intelligence and valor, gender has nothing to do with victory. I will tell you another fact that has prevailed over a long time. Vishnu plucks out like the thorn in the road all the demons and Rakshasas who become prosperous. We hear that the Supreme Devi, propitiated by Vishnu, who is the enemy of the demons, has manifested to destroy you. She has manifested out of the fire in the sacrificial altar and not from any womb or mind. You have not sought deathlessness from the person who is born from other than the womb or the mind. O Lord of the demons, do not take it as trifle what has been said by the venerable preceptor Shukra, who is eminent among intellectuals. Hence, I think that the suggestion by our Guru is suitable. An intelligent person should be all effort avoid peril. Might is best when there is no fear. Only peace is the recourse during danger. A wise person should use all his strength to prevent destruction of the root. Where is the hope for fruits without the root? If the root is protected, there would be fruits. In the present context, O king, hear my thoughtful opinion. At this moment, become peaceful by following the advice of the Guru. Later, you can do penance and get rid of the remaining fear, and again, by your heroism, gain control over the three worlds. This is my opinion, and I think that there is no other way, there is no other safe way. Hence, act quickly according to your wish after giving a thought to my opinion. Hearing the words of Shrutavarma, Bhanda, the lord of the demons, criticized him in the assembly. He did not like the suggestion of Shrutavarma, just like a person willing to die does not like medicine. At that time, one demon, intoxicated with arrogance, addressed the king thus: O lord of the demons, listen to my words that will delight you. Frightened young boys should not be allowed to counsel. This young boy does not at all know about your strength. He is frightened by the words of the scared Brahmin Sukracarya. What can a Brahmin understand about the war of a king? Brahmins might know about sacrificial rites. They might be experts in Vedic texts. They might know the methods of invoking, but how can they know about war? They might know the sharpness of their studies. They may be adepts to handle kusha grass and the sacrificial wood, but they are ignorant about the sharp sword and the arrows. If the Brahmins can win a war by chanting mantras, then really elephants will urinate, being afraid of dogs that are village lions. If the Brahmins can show their strength and fight a war, then even jackals can tear the temple of an elephant. O king, rise up. This is not the time for taking rest. An enemy, man or woman, should not be ignored. Alas, today, if a woman can conquer you, who can uproot the Meru mountain, who can scorch the three worlds by the heat of valor, then the petals of the blue lily can split the mountain, and a massive iron mountain can be shattered by sacrificial grass. Or else, O king, you stay back enjoying royal pleasures and order me, your servant. I will quickly capture her and Brahma and others, or even kill them and place them before you. Hearing the words of the demon, the happy Bhandasura, who was facing destruction, laughed and said to Shrutavarmadas, my child, why are you uselessly afraid even about the news of the war? A eunuch who is afraid of war with a woman was never born or will never be born in your clan. You are yet a lad who is fit to be chatting with women. Fie upon me who made you a minister, who can by his mean thunderbolt like speech shatter the courage of even strong persons and spoil the deliberation. Saying thus, Bhandasura, with a raised sword, followed by myriad armed demons, marched to the place where Indra and other gods were worshipping Devi Tripurasundari. Hearing the arrival of Bhandasura, Indra and other gods, who were extremely frightened, prayed loudly to Devi, saying, please protect. Seeing the frightened gods, Devi Tripurasundari said to the 14th Nitya Devi, thus, O Jvalamalini, go and quickly save the scared gods. Thus ordered by Sri Tripurasundari, the auspicious Jvalamalini prevented the demons who tortured the gods by surrounding the place with high flames. Seeing that place surrounded by flames and thinking that the gods were destroyed by the conflagration, Bhandasura happily returned. The gods, hearing the great uproar among the army of the demons, were frightened and deciding to die, cut off their limbs and offered them to the fire in the altar to the pleasure and offered them to the fire in the altar to please the Devi. After offering all the limbs, they desired to offer their entire body as a consumatory oblation and whispered mantras. At that time, Devi Tripurasundari, intent on protecting her devotees, manifested effulgent like a myriad lightnings from the core of the altar. A very loud crackling sound was heard from the center of the altar. The flame increased excessively. The gods saw in the middle of that flame the Devi, who was beautiful in all respects. With great joy, they shouted slogans of victory and prostrated before her. Then Indra and other gods rose up and chanted prayers to Maheshwari. Then Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the sages, and the seers arrived there. Flowers showered from the sky amidst the sound of kettle drums. A fragrant breeze was blowing slowly and soothingly. Brahma and others worshipped her as stipulated. The Devi was pleased by many services like garlands, foods, liquor, meat, songs, dance, instrumental music, and festival. End of the 52nd chapter of the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam.